Since 1988, the Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network has been dedicated to rescuing, rehabilitating, and releasing local wildlife. From skunks and raccoons to owls and hummingbirds, the Wildlife Care Network takes care of hundreds of different species each year, and over 4,500 individual animals in 2020 alone. Although the Wildlife Care Center is physically located in the foothills of Goleta, our work extends far beyond our small property. Where else is the Wildlife Care Network in the community? From the most remote corners of the forest to the most popular beach spots, you can find us all over Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, even in your own backyard. We're going to take you with us today as we go to all of those places. But first, let's start right here at 1460 North Fairview Avenue.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariana Katovich. I'm the Executive Director at Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. Thank you so much for joining us for our groundbreaking and virtual open house. We have some exciting things to show you. Today, we're going to take you behind the scenes to see all the incredible things that happen here at our center and give you the inside scoop on the groundbreaking and the building of our wildlife hospital. Typically during our normal open house, we would invite the community here to our property to walk around and meet our staff and see all the things that we do. But virtually, we can actually show you a lot more. We're going to kick it off with our Director of Animal Care, Dr. Avery Berkowitz. Dr. Avery has been at Wildlife Care Network for a year and is actually the one and only staff veterinarian Wildlife Care Network has had on staff. Having a full-time vet is an incredible resource for our center and our community, and it allows us to care for more patients. Over the last year, we've seen an increase in our patient load by 700 animals. Avery's going to start us off, and then you'll get to meet some of our incredible staff here at Wildlife Care Network. Over to you, Avery.
Hi everyone, my name is Avery, and I'm the Director of Animal Care and also the Staff Veterinarian at the Wildlife Care Network. My job here at the center is to both handle the medical side of things, including stabilizing medical cases that come in, surgeries, wound care, and that sort of thing, as well as to oversee the husbandry and just general operations of the center. The Wildlife Care Network has been around for over 30 years, but only recently we've had some very big changes happening around here. We're receiving more patients than ever, especially during our spring baby season, such as right now. And we're also in the middle of construction of our new wildlife hospital, also on site. Every day in wildlife rehab is an unknown. You never know what or how many animals are going to come through the door on a given day, and never know what you'll be working with that day. It can be very busy and chaotic, but our team always works hard to give these animals the best care possible. Luckily for us, we have a really great animal rehabilitation coordinator here at the center. Kimberly has truly taken our animal care to the next level and is key to helping everything run smoothly and effectively here at the center.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Stevens and I am the Animal Rehabilitation Coordinator for Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. As part of my job as the Animal Rehabilitation Coordinator, I oversee all of the different areas and ensure that protocols are being followed and overseeing releases and animal care. So here at the center, we care for a wide variety of species and we're able to allocate those to different areas. So we have a mammal team, an intake team, seabird team, a raptor team, and a songbird team, so that those staff caretakers in those areas can dedicate their focus and their attention to those animals in that area. Today you'll meet some of those animal care staff takers from each of these different areas.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm the intake lead here at the center. I started as a volunteer back in April of 2019. People bring us animals and I'm essentially the first line of defense. I diagnose what's wrong with the animal and treat them, give them x-rays, run their blood, and then prescribe them the medication they'll be on for the remainder of their stay at the center. And then once I'm done, I hand them off to the rest of the staff who deals with the husbandry and the actual rehabilitation process. Being able to do exams every day and work kind of the medical side of things here is definitely something I enjoy. I never know what's coming in. I never know the state of the animal that's going to be brought in. And sometimes that means that there's an easy day and only 3 animals come in and there's nothing wrong with any of them. But other days, there's a bunch of animals and I'm constantly running back and forth, doing things. Everything is super in-depth and it's chaotic and crazy.
I'm T. Wagner. I'm the seabird lead at the Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. I started volunteering when I was 13. I've been staff for 2.5 years. As a seabird lead, I supervise the care of all our seabird patients and write protocols for them, oversee the protocols are being followed, and just generally try to maintain the best level of care for our aquatic bird patients. I love that there's always something new to learn. There's a new challenge every day, and I absolutely love birds. A lot of seabirds come in oiled, especially during winter. We're one of the highest seep areas in the United States, natural oil seeps. So we get a lot of just naturally oiled birds for reasons unrelated to spills. We get a lot of birds that, most seabirds are migratory. So if they have had a tough migration, they might be really weak and beach themselves or just be too weak to get away from people or other predators. We also get a lot of hooked or hook and line injury seabirds.
Last year we were able to take care of 1,100 seabirds and shorebirds, and that's out of about 4,000 animals annually, so about 25% of the species that we intake. Our location being so close to the coast, we get in quite a few seabirds from Santa Maria through Ventura. So we're standing in our pelican aviary right now. We have a 15,000 gallon pool here, fresh water for the pelicans, gulls, cormorants, sometimes mallards, sometimes great blue herons. This is kind of a multi-use space, but it's a place where they can be outside, get sunshine, feed themselves, and rehab. They can make use of the high perches. Then on the other side we have a pelagic pool where the grebes, loons, and murres can be swum after their feathers have been washed or decontaminated if they've come in with oil. And that's a long process for them to actually clean their feathers, preen their feathers until they're waterproof. These guys, sometimes it's just a matter of healing a broken bone or gaining some weight if they've come in emaciated or with any other injuries, fishing line, fish hook entanglements, other wing injuries, and so it's really a great place for them to rehabilitate and get ready to go back out into the wild.
Hi, I'm Nancy and I am the songbird lead here at Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. For my position, basically I make sure that all the songbirds are getting the proper care that they need, that each species is getting their necessary species-specific care, whether that's husbandry or food presentation. So basically just making sure that all these songbirds get the progression and the specialized care that they need, since they all have many different needs. So we do get a bit of seasonal variety, so it depends on what time of year it is, because a lot of birds do migrate here for the summer and some do come here for the winter too. So we get a lot of scrub jays and woodpeckers and finches and everything you can imagine. Our spring and summer baby season is definitely a very crazy time for all of us because we are just slammed with an influx of a lot of babies. So we'll have, anywhere from 150, 200 or more in one room at one time, all getting fed every 30 minutes. So that means you don't even have time to finish feeding everyone before you have to start over again, basically. So we need a lot of hands on deck, and it's a lot of cleaning and feeding and just kind of constant work, and then on top of that making sure that all these animals are still progressing in the way that they're supposed to be. So a few great tips to help songbirds. Keep all your free roaming cats inside or take them out on a leash, build a catio. There's plenty of solutions to keeping your cat inside and still keeping them happy and healthy. Another thing you can do to help songbirds is put things on top of your windows so that they can see the window and they don't hit them. They make these great UV stickers that we can't see but birds can see them. And you can also make sure that when you find a baby bird, or if you find a baby bird, you make sure to call us, and we will always help you out throughout that whole process and make sure that that animal is going to get the help that it needs if it needs it.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm the raptor lead. So I oversee all the birds of prey, so hawks, eagles, and owls, just oversee their day-to-day care. I'm the point person for any new people that we're training.
Our most common raptors, hawks, red-tailed hawks and red-shouldered hawks, owls, great horned owls, barn owls, and western screech owls. And then we less commonly receive kestrels, merlins, peregrine falcons occasionally, eagles occasionally, osprey occasionally.
A lot of them are head trauma cases. Either they got hit by a car or ran into something, and a lot of them have fractures. Quite a few of them have ocular trauma, so they have eye issues, which are usually the result of head trauma.
We'll also receive them. Many of our birds have subclinical clotting issues or very clinical clotting issues due to anticoagulant rodenticides. So our first and second generation anticoagulant rodenticides that are very commonly used even now. And then certain of our species, such as vultures, which we don't see as commonly either, very commonly come in with lead toxicosis. Even with the recent bans on the use of lead ammunition, we still have a lot of lead in our environment.
I just really like the raptors. I really admire that there's not as many of them because they're birds of prey, so they have to work harder in the wild to survive. We're really lucky to be in this location to have such a wide variety of raptor species and just species in general.
Hi, I'm Britt Rickman. I am the mammal lead here at Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. As the mammal lead, I'm just in charge of making sure that all of our mammals are taken care of, that everybody gets what they need, whether it's food, water, clean cages, the right medications, and set up rechecks with our veterinarian on site. Common species we take care of in the mammal department, especially for baby season, are squirrels, opossums, and chipmunks. A lot of the work is cleaning. It takes a lot of cleaning to keep these guys healthy, and a lot of feeding as well. For a lot of our babies, they're getting fed multiple times a day, so anywhere from 2 to 6 times a day. And that's, you need to feed them, you need to stimulate them to get them to go to the bathroom, because that's what mom would need to do as well. And then make sure that their enclosure is also clean and neat for them. A lot of the reasons during this time of year that these animals are coming in is they're orphans, or there's some interaction between humans and the animal, or with their dog, their cat, or a person might walk up to a rabbit and think, oh, this poor rabbit is orphaned, pick it up and bring it to us, and in fact it was just sitting waiting for mom to come back. Give us a call first. We'll give you all the information that you need on how to tell if the animal is really in jeopardy and in need, and maybe just set up and wait for a mom to come back and take care of them, because mom's going to do a better job than we can. Every animal is different, so we might get some in that only need to be here for a few days to monitor their mentation. Other animals, baby animals especially when they come in, will be with us for longer periods of time, anywhere from a few weeks to a few months.
Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network runs with volunteers, people who dedicate their time and resources to making sure animals are able to get the help that they need. From helpline volunteers who talk to the public about how best to help a wild animal, to volunteer rescuers who pick up injured animals in the field, to animal care volunteers who prepare diets, care for worms, and make sure every animal has a clean and enriching place to stay during their rehabilitation. During spring and summer, volunteers make sure baby birds are fed every 30 minutes. All of our volunteers give hope to the injured animals who come to the Wildlife Care Center. And the best part is having them release a patient back into the wild.
As you can see, the center is a busy place, especially in the spring and summer months. It takes an incredible team of people, and it takes a network to do the work that we do, from rescue to release. And of course, that's the best part of the job, releases. It's such an incredible source of joy and pride and relief for all of us to see these animals get their second chance. From the ocean to the valley, we travel all over from Santa Barbara to Ventura to make sure that these animals get back home safely.
On January 11th, the Wildlife Care Network received a special pelagic patient into our care, a northern fulmar, patient number 94. Northern fulmars are a seabird species that spend most of their lives in the ocean and are rarely actually seen from land. This bird was found beached by a citizen rescuer at Guadalupe Dunes and was brought to the center. It was severely dehydrated, emaciated, and anemic, most likely due to a viral infection that's common in fulmars. After plenty of food, antibiotics, and supportive care from our expert animal care team, this patient made a full recovery after 46 days at the center. And thanks to the complimentary use of a staff member's family boat, the team was able to release the fulmar back into the Santa Barbara Channel. Northern fulmars can live up to 60 years. They are typically monogamous for life, but unlike many other species, they only produce one chick at a time. This makes every individual, like patient number 94, especially important to the population. Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network's 205th patient of 2021 was a western meadowlark that was discovered in the streets of Carpinteria. This small songbird wasn't flying, so a citizen rescuer brought it into the center to receive care. Western meadowlarks are songbirds that are easily identifiable by their yellow underbelly and prominent black V shape on their chest. These birds inhabit grasslands, marshes, and meadows, and can be found right here in Santa Barbara year-round. Sometimes these songbirds are more easily heard than seen, with their distinctive flute-like melody. When this patient arrived at the center, it was found to have a fractured clavicle and coracoid, two bones that are both vital to a bird's ability to fly. Luckily, these fractures didn't require surgery, so the Wildlife Care Network team provided medication for the pain and a special wrap to stabilize the injuries. After about 1 month of care, this meadowlark was fully healed and ready to fly freely. The team traveled back down south to release the bird at the Carpinteria Salt Marsh, a protected wetland that is home to a wide variety of sensitive plants and animals. In 2020, the Wildlife Care Network received a total of 24 raccoon patients in need of care, a majority of these being babies who were found orphaned. 6 of those orphans were just released back in February. You may know them as the Sensational Six. These 6 raccoons all arrived individually, but were raised together as a group. Raccoons are typically born into litters with multiple siblings, so it's always better when we can rehabilitate them in a group. The first baby, also known as a kit, arrived in August, and the last arrived in November. When they're infants, these raccoons are put into home care, where volunteers or staff can take care of them around the clock. With babies, they typically need anywhere from 5 to 6 feedings per day, even throughout the night. Once they're able to eat solid foods, they are moved back into the raccoon resort, here at the center. From there, they spend their days eating plenty of food, playing with enrichment crafted by the team, and of course, enjoying lots of naps. These 6 grew up right before our eyes, and as February of 2021 rolled around, they were finally ready to be released out on their own. All 6 raccoons were released together on a ranch out in the San Ynez Valley. Needless to say, they didn't hesitate jumping right into this big new world. Patient number 4,651 of 2020 was a red-tailed hawk that arrived at the center after suffering injuries from a car strike in Santa Barbara. This bird spent a total of 80 days in our care, as the animal care team provided treatment for bruising, wounds, and some broken tail feathers. Thanks to the team's hard work, this hawk made a strong recovery and was released back at San Antonio Creek just last month. Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network received 40 red-tailed hawks in 2020, making them one of our most common species of raptor patients. These large hawks are typically identified by their namesake red tail, but plumage can actually vary significantly between various individuals. Red-tailed hawks are some of the most common raptors that live in our area. These birds can commonly be seen in open habitats like fields and grasslands, and in riparian areas like this creek.
Even though we're incredibly busy, even though we've had a 14% increase in our patients, and even though we're in a global pandemic, Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network is working toward an incredibly exciting project that will change the way that we serve wildlife for generations to come. We're so excited to announce the building of our wildlife hospital, being built right here on our property at 1460 North Fairview Avenue in Goleta. This 5,400 square foot building will be a state-of-the-art facility and the only one of its kind on the South Central Coast. Since SBWCN's founding in 1988, we've been a scrappy and resourceful organization. From the backyards and kitchens of home care to the trailers and sheds at our current property, we've never let our circumstances stand in the way of protecting, saving, and serving wildlife. The new wildlife hospital will not only have a significant impact in our day-to-day operations, but will greatly benefit the animals that are in our care.
Working for Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network, it's from starting in 2005, it's almost like I've worked in 3 different places. In 1988, we didn't have a site. We operated out of people's garages, bathrooms, bedrooms, and backyards. In 2005, when I started, they had just purchased this property, about 1.43 acres. In 2012, we were actually able to move out here with just phase 1 being completed, that being our 24 by 24 foot seabird building, some outdoor aviaries, and the 2 large pelican aviaries. Then in 2015, we were able to go to phase 2 and build our raccoon and skunk enclosures for care. We're very, very excited to be able to start phase 3. We actually got our building permit last year in 2020 and spent over a year planning the design with our architect's design arc. And now we have Frank Skipper Construction helping build it out for us. To be able to see the hospital happening right in front of our eyes as we, are still caring for animals out here is very incredible. It's really a dream come true, and sometimes it's hard to believe that it's actually happening. In the midst of COVID and in the midst of everything else that's going on, we're still pressing forward and trying to do the best we can for wildlife, and it's going to be a reality, and it's very, very exciting for us.
We're currently caring for thousands of species every year with limited resources, almost 5,000 this past year. And in fact, most of our work is done out of a combination of sheds and trailers. So this new building will give us the necessary resources to save even more wildlife than we are right now with our relatively limited resources and facilities. So this is our surgery and radiology room, I guess, in one. We have our surgery table over on this side, and then our radiology table, which is rather small, over on the other side, and we have to evacuate the room whenever we take an x-ray, so that can be interesting during surgeries. So given that this space is actually shared with our entire songbird operation, which is a very large part of what we do, we receive many songbirds each year, the activity level, the managing to get in and out of the room efficiently when we're trying to take an x-ray on a less stable animal or do surgery can be rather challenging. So we're very excited to be able to not have to share that space and to have the songbirds have their own large room in our new building and to have separate surgery and radiology rooms.
Here we are in the songbird trailer. As you can see, we are in a double wide trailer, so it's a very temporary solution here, really not ideal for our permanent facility. This room is shared by the vet staff where all of the veterinary work happens just a few yards away from where we care for our songbirds. So once we move forward to having a hospital, it's going to really change it because we won't be fighting over space. We're also going to have more isolation capabilities so that when we have outbreaks with our patients, they're in a totally separate space where that risk is eliminated a lot more, so that'll be really great. We're going to have a lot better lighting too because we have these great fluorescent lights in here. everything that we're just basically adapting with right now is going to be so much more intentional. You know, we operate out of sheds, we operate out of trailers, we operate out of tents. And so once we get this hospital, everything is going to have purpose and be, you know, everything has its place in a very intentional way. Here we are in a songbird aviary at Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. With the new facility going forward, we're going to have a lot more aviary space that is species specific. So we're going to have some, you know, specific woodpecker aviary, a specific raptor aviary, which is going to just increase our capabilities a lot more and the quality of care that we're able to provide for our patients, because right now we're trying to adapt every type of animal into the few aviaries that we have. With the new facility, it's going to be excellent how it's going to improve our standards of care for everybody and the quality of care that we're able to provide. Everyone's going to have their own spaces. There's not going to be shared spaces. You know, our intake room isn't also going to be the laundry and the seabird building. The songbird trailer won't also be the entire veterinary, you know, room. So there's just going to be a lot of awesome changes that are going to occur that's going to really make us be able to work better in our facility and help the animals better.
So right now this is the intake setup. We're in the middle of a room surrounded by all the seabirds and all their net bottoms and all the noise they make while they're taking care of those animals. And then right outside this little half wall thing is the dryer, the food prep, the dishes, the main computer that everyone uses, and honestly just kind of a gathering place of like where to pass off things to whoever's taking over your next shift. And it's just noisy. In the new hospital, there's going to be an entire room dedicated for just intakes and lab work and stuff for blood. This is basically multiple times a day, going between buildings. The new hospital, we're going to have the same 2 rooms, but it's going to be more of like a 20 feet apart thing rather than across half the center with trucks in the way. In baby season, it could be up to 50 times a day, just back and forth for various different tests and everything. Whereas in the new hospital, all the lab stuff is going to be in the intake room. So I can run the blood, I can do everything right from in that little isolated place. There's also less stress on the animal, as I don't have to constantly go back and forth walking around.
So currently, the seabird space shares with intakes and meds, and it's very crowded. It also shares with general syringe storage. Our washing machines are also in the same building, and it's white noise, but it can be very loud in the seabird building, and it's also just a heavily trafficked area because it's where we do a lot of our dishes and other general cleaning and tasks. So this hospital will provide a quieter, more isolated area that's focused solely on the rehabilitation of these seabirds.
So Santa Barbara is one of the highest natural oil seep areas in the world, and because of this we receive a large amount of birds that are oiled for reasons unrelated to spills, so individually oiled animals.
So right now for oiled seabirds, if they're more than 10% oiled, we have to transfer them because our current facilities, space-wise and washing station-wise, are not equipped to handle like significant wash processes.
So right now we have to transfer all of those animals out basically as soon as possible so that we can utilize our limited space to help as many animals at a time as we can.
So with the new hospital, we will have multiple wash stations with better controlled water temperatures, separate areas, just more space overall so we can spread things out and keep oiled animals separate from unoiled animals better.
So this will greatly expand our ability to house for greater periods of time and actually wash and move all the way to release many of these oiled birds that are coming in. So just in general, the new building will allow us to have temperature-controlled indoor space in a much larger supply than we have right now, and that can be extremely helpful for animals that are not able to thermoregulate as well, and allow us to much more easily provide supplemental heat and navigate these spaces when we are not so cramped into one small building and then a combination of trailers that are poorly insulated and harder to provide sufficient heat or cooling support in the summer when it's very hot.
Welcome to the mammal kitchen. This is our space for basically our own little hospital for our mammal patients that come in. It is our prep area. We make all of the meals here. We get our meds ready back here, fluids ready. It is also our laundry facility, so this is where we fold and get all of the laundry put away and organized. Our dishes are back here, our cleaning supplies are back here, and this is just one of the sheds that we work out of. The mammal shed is fairly small. It is really difficult to move around in here, get it organized for everything that we need, especially with the amount of patients that we have coming in continuing to increase. We definitely need a lot more space, and we've kind of sprawled between 3 different sheds now. The mammal kitchen that we're in now, the mammal shed next to us, and then the mammal nursery is another shed where we keep all of our baby patients that need intensive care. Our space in the new hospital will be much larger than what we have right now. We'll have more for storage. We'll have an entire area devoted just for our babies and intensive care unit for them as well. And then we'll be able to take care of our adult patients as well that need a lot more critical care and time before they're able to move back outside. The hospital is going to make our jobs so much easier, especially back here. We're not going to be running all the way down the front of the property to grab something that we need. It'll be more centralized. It'll be ready for us there. Everything we need to do is going to be in one specific spot, and we're going to have more room to do what we need to do.
That's what this building's really all about, is helping us to do the best we possibly can for each animal that comes in and to make their rehabilitation experience the best experience it can be and the least stressful that it can be.
We're here with Kevin Dumaine and Mark Shields from Design Arc, and Julia Parker, our Director of Operations, to talk about designing for a wildlife hospital.
I think we could start off by saying it was a learning experience for us. We were familiar with all the little birds you save and everything else, and we had no idea the extent of it. And us, actually, I think the technical aspects of, cleaning oiled birds, what type of environment that requires. There were just a lot of interesting, funny little issues that we had to discover. It's been a lot of fun, and we're so happy that everything's taking off and under construction finally.
I remember saying to you that you have to design it for children that are also like 2 inches big and can fly.
The Wildlife Center has been so successful in the last few years that you're caring for more and more animals every year, that the needs grew during the project. So we had to, step back and kind of redesign and to accommodate for more growth in the middle of the process, and just due to the success.
I think it's just going to be such a refreshing change to see a new building designed well, that's appropriate, that has space. So I think I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that. There's a lot that goes into it, so we're happy with the conclusion and looking forward to seeing a finished product.
I can't even believe it, and I see it going up every day, that our hospital is happening. This dream is becoming a reality right in front of our very eyes. And it's so energizing to see it, and to know that this is only made possible with the generosity of our community.
I'm so excited about this project. Can't wait for it to be finished. This is a blessing to the community, to the animals, to everyone. It's for the future, it's for now. It's a joyous, happy beginning. This new hospital. It's a long time coming, and thank goodness it's here.
I'm so excited at the progress we're making with our hospital, and I'm just amazed at the animals that we're able to help in Santa Barbara. Last year, I think it was close to 5,000 wild animals that we took care of, and many were released back in the wild. So I hope that everybody will come and get a tour of our hospital and consider making a donation, because I think it's money well spent.
Thank you so much for your support of the Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. It's such a great organization. As you all know, we're in the final throes of our capital campaign for the hospital that's being built, and we're so close, and we just would love anybody who can help to help at this point. This is the moment.
We're on the goal line. Let's get that ball across the goal line.
Thank you.
My name's Ian Shive. I'm a photographer, and I'm incredibly proud to support the Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network. Places like this are so important for our wildlife and in our communities. Things like raccoons, foxes, pigeons, squirrels, weasels, all the wildlife that exists around us and in our communities need our help, and places like this are that bright spot that help us. I'm proud to support.
It takes a network to do this work. Our volunteers, our staff, people that rescue animals and bring them to us for care, our transporters, our donors, our board members, our capital campaign committee. We are so honored to have such a wide range of people supporting this work in our community. Wildlife is something that connects all of us. And one of the incredible things about putting this project together and taking this step into the future for wildlife is how many wonderful people have joined us. So we're so grateful and honored to be working with all of you, all of the people that work with us to fulfill our mission to save and serve wildlife. If you want to help support this project and the future of wildlife in our region, we warmly invite you to join us and support our hospital. We have an incredible opportunity to match a lead gift commitment, and every dollar raised for the Wildlife Hospital will be matched 1-to-1. We are building the building right now. It's growing before our very eyes, and we're so thrilled to have raised 3/4 of our goal. And with your help, we're going to get that final quarter, and we'll be able to do all of the things that we want to do in this campaign. Not just finishing the hospital, but building a raptor aviary and a mammal enclosure, and finishing upgrades to our shorebird pools, fully funding our veterinarian program, and providing all of the animals with upgraded enclosures, and really setting all of our patients up for success. Thank you for all of your support. Don't forget to visit our website. You can find more about us from there. You can make a donation, you can sign up to volunteer, you can call me and talk to me about our future, and I just couldn't be more grateful to have you here and to be doing this work and to watch us go to the next level. Thank you.
I just want to thank all of the supporters who have helped us so far over the many years of the Wildlife Care Network's history, and also more recently with the capital campaign, because you are truly essential to our everyday operations, and we would not be able to do it without you.
Thank you for everybody that has helped support this project. It means so much to us. It's going to make our job so much easier, and it's going to make care for wildlife in our local area a lot better.
We could not do this without our volunteers and our many, many supporters. We just want to thank you for your continued generosity and support.
Thank you all for supporting the hospital and our mission. It takes a lot of work and money to run this place, and every cent matters and helps us in a tremendous way.
Huge thank you to everybody who has donated throughout the years and donated towards our new hospital. It's going to be a huge game changer, and I can't thank you enough. We literally could not do this without you, so thank you so much.